So yesterday, I'm sure you've heard about the positive news for the Litecoin community that HTC Corporation announced Litecoin creator Charlie Lee will serve as an advisor to HTC Exodus, and some other news with that. What I'm personally most excited to talk about this morning is that a majority of South Korean analysts are predicting a major digital asset surge in value by the end of 2018. We'll talk about why. We'll talk about why this is important. And it's important to note that South Korea is the third largest crypto market, only behind the US and Japan. And we'll talk about why one of the world's most influential people, for better or for worse, acknowledged and advertised Bitcoin on their social media Instagram account to over 115 million people. So we are 1 month into the third quarter of 2018, and the HTC Exodus, which is described as the world's first native blockchain phone, is slated for release this quarter. HTC is an Asian tech giant, and according to this article, HTC indicated that the Exodus device will be a node, and this will allow users to own their identity and their data by having both on their devices as opposed to being a centralized cloud. And these devices also do come with cold storage for cryptocurrencies. Here's the tweet posted by Exodus. It says, "One small step for Satoshi Light, Charlie Lee, and one giant leap for blockchain." Charlie will serve as an advisor to HTC. And Charlie's tweet here says he met the HTC Exodus team last week, and he was really excited to hear the phone will support Litecoin and the Lightning Network on Litecoin natively. The coolest parts about this are that it will act as a node, which will help Lightning Network mass adoption, and it acts as a cryptocurrency wallet, so you can store cryptocurrency safely on the phone. So originally, the chief crypto officer of HTC, Phil Chen, revealed that the phone would support Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, he's quoted here saying, "We would like to support the entire blockchain ecosystem, and in the next few months we'll be announcing many more exciting partnerships together. Together we want to craft the best blockchain and decentralization application experiences to end consumers." And so yeah, Litecoin will be supported natively on this phone. Just how big and successful this will be has yet to be seen. But I'm sure it won't be the last phone to natively support cryptocurrency. I think it's really cool that it can act as a hardware wallet. And the fact that it can act as a node is even much cooler in my opinion. So Korea is really pushing for positive cryptocurrency legislation. I want to cover the last two paragraphs of this article. It says, if passed before the end of 2018, the newly created cryptocurrency and blockchain bill is expected to play a vital role in facilitating more capital to flow into the local crypto market in the upcoming years, crucially throughout 2018. The vast majority of analysts are predicting the price of major digital assets to surge drastically by year's end and sustain strong momentum over the next 12 months. So South Korea is the third largest cryptocurrency market in the world, only behind the US and Japan. And potentially the next rally in cryptocurrencies could come at a good time, probably maybe around the end of this year or quarter four of 2018. And that movement could really help with the momentum of the market and kind of push things forward. So again, this last paragraph here, how far away is it? So already cities like Busan, the second largest city in South Korea behind Seoul, with a population of 3.5 million, have disclosed their plans to create vibrant environments for cryptocurrency startups and blockchain development teams, assuming the bill is passed in the next several months, possibly in the fourth quarter of 2018. So we have that to look forward to. This is in the South Korean markets. Again, something that the US markets are really looking forward to hearing a decision about is the ETF, specifically the CBOE SolidX Van Eck ETF. Again, a lot of people counting on that, and as Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, recently pointed out, if that were to be denied, there is a lot of attention on it. He personally thinks there shouldn't be. Maybe that is to curb expectations and maybe drive the hype down a little bit in case it were to not go through. It would be a roadblock. It would be temporary. But again, I want to stress it is important to not get our hopes up 100% for the ETF. There's nothing so far necessarily, no reason in particular to think that there will not or there will be a negative outcome of it. Again, the ETF that was denied last week by the Winklevoss twins was already one that was shot down. So it really shouldn't have come as too much of big news, and the markets did react accordingly. They immediately bounced back up after that news, if that was even the reason that the markets did go down. I don't think anybody knows 100% for sure. I know the timing was pretty peculiar, like it was right when the announcement came out. But regardless, the market's recovered very fast. Bitcoin has been holding over 8K very strong. At the time of me making this video, by the time the video gets uploaded, I'm not exactly sure, but if it does anything like it's done for the past 5 or so days, the price will pretty much be right above 8K, or at least fluctuating around that area. And so the co-founder of Block, Matthew Rozak, presented this physical Bitcoin to Kim Kardashian at the first annual If Only Texas Hold'em charity poker tournament. So this is the picture that he posted on Twitter here. Big fun at the first annual City of Hope charity poker, and he gave this to Kim Kardashian. If you're not familiar with Kim Kardashian, that's pretty cool. This is the Instagram that she had posted, apparently. This is the physical Bitcoin that she was given. So apparently she posted this not very long after she received it, with the caption, "We've moved on to Bitcoin." Here you can see the picture of those 2 Bitcoins there, the 2 physical ones. Now, comments on Reddit did point out that Kim Kardashian is a huge celebrity. I don't necessarily think social media number-wise there is a celebrity more known throughout the world than Kim Kardashian. As embarrassing as that might be to say, she is very famous, extremely famous, well-deserved, but she has over 114 million followers, and that kind of advertising should not be taken lightly. As well, it's probably a market that hasn't really been penetrated by cryptocurrency just yet. Most people that follow Kim Kardashian on Twitter probably aren't very into technology, aside from like cell phones, but they're probably not super informed. I don't want to generalize, but she's not exactly famous for being a CEO or a creator of some kind of revolutionary technology, I don't believe. Maybe that's changed ever since she's been famous. She is married to the future president of the United States, Kanye West. So potentially Kim Kardashian and Kanye could, make the U.S. official currency Bitcoin. That would be pretty cool. So the CEO of Block goes on to say about Bitcoin being one of the greatest inventions of our time, which he noted is a bold statement for the technology that existed for less than a decade. Using a railroad analogy, he said the blockchain provides the rails and the tokens are the boxcars that run on the rails. The gift Satoshi gave was to allow people not to focus on a personality or an institution, he said, but on mathematics. Referring to the blockchain and the ledger there, he says that he is very bullish on tokens, that traditional assets will be tokenized, and the improvements that have gone into wallets and exchanges in the past, and what we'll see in the future as well, will continue to drive adoption, will make it more user-friendly for people who are not currently in the space, whether or not it's too intimidating or what. The interface, as a lot of creators, I think, including Charlie has said, as well as Vitalik and a lot of other notable people in the space, that the user interface and the user experience still is not 100% friendly for most people in the world. It does take, only maybe like 30 minutes to get everything down. But again, people don't necessarily feel safe just yet. Every day that goes by, it's making people more and more safe in terms of getting used to this idea of Bitcoin, realizing that it's not some sort of scam, realizing that institutions are adopting it slowly, and it is being recognized as a real thing and a real investment vehicle, a real currency potentially. More so right now, it's more seen as an investment vehicle for sure. The goal is to be a currency, but we have to take one step at a time. But yeah, just seeing somebody like Kim Kardashian, who again, most likely is probably the most famous person probably in the world, maybe behind Donald Trump. I'm not totally sure how they match up with each other. But she did advertise Bitcoin. I don't 100% know, other than the nice Instagram post she had about Bitcoin. I don't know if she's invested. I don't 100% know if she believes in the technology. I'm sure that it's been mentioned to her, maybe about branding with a Kardashian coin, as this article says here, that could tokenize and create her own economy. I'm sure she's a businesswoman, and I'm sure she would be interested in something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she, if that's something that she's considered or is currently looking into or whatever. Either way, I guess to end the video, the U.S. waiting for that ETF, but South Korea is waiting for their own regulations and things to come out. And South Korea is not a country to take lightly. They are the 3rd largest involved country in cryptocurrency, again, only behind the U.S. and Japan. And hopefully in the future we'll see China kind of get back in the game. We kind of saw them exit towards the end of 2017 with everything that really came out there. But hopefully, if we possibly do see them enter in the next year or two, that would bring much needed volume and attention and everything, enthusiasm back into the space. I think that would be huge. The fact that the market is actually still holding much higher highs than the than what 2017 started as, even, without as much China involvement as we are currently unfortunately seeing anymore. I think that's really positive for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as a whole.